Good evening and welcome to the regular board meeting of San Benito CISD. Today is Tuesday, November the 12th, 2013. The time is now 7:03. Item number 1, call to order and establish quorum. We do have a quorum. Item number 2, roll call. Please respond with present. Mr. Julian Huerta, Vice President.
Present.
Ms. June Aguilera, Secretary.
Present.
Ms. Ana Cruz, Trustee.
Present.
Ms. Fatima Huerta, Trustee. Mr. Hector Gilial, Trustee. Mr. Oscar Medrano, Trustee. Mr. Alfonso Obregon, Interim Superintendent of Schools, and taking his place is Mr. Ruben Franco.
Present.
Mr. Tony Torres, School Attorney. Moving on to item number 3 and 4, Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags and invocation. And this evening we do have 2 students from Ed Downs Elementary. We'll start off with Kelly Ray Martinez. Kelly Ray Martinez is a 10-year-old 5th grade student at Ed Downs Elementary. She's a daughter of Ramon and Jeanette Martinez. Kelly loves animals and aspires to be a veterinarian in the future. She takes dance classes at Palm Valley Dance in tap, ballet, and jazz. She also plays the piano, guitar, and ukulele, and is learning to play the drums. Not only does she like to play musical instruments, she also loves to sing and occasionally sings in her uncle's band. She also loves to travel and collect stuffed animals. Aside from her hobbies, she finds time to excel in school. She loves to read and do her homework. Her accomplishments include serving on the first Ed Downs Principal's Cabinet, top achiever every year since pre-K, all A honor roll every 6 weeks since first grade, and has maintained perfect attendance since she started school in pre-K. Kelly is a dedicated student who loves to learn and is a joy to have at Ed Downs Elementary. Also here to assist this evening, we have Danae Liza Munoz. Danae is an 11-year-old 5th grade student at Ed Downs Elementary. She is a daughter of Dora Lee and Jaime Munoz. She is a member of the San Benito High School Junior FFA, Highland Hustlers 4-H, Girl Scouts, and the Ed Downs Chess Club. Danae has placed in the rabbit and photography categories at the Mercedes Livestock Show. She was also pageant queen runner-up at the South Texas Youth Stock Show. Danae also shows her enthusiasm in cheering with the Elite Cheer Force and South Texas Extreme Competitive Cheerleader Squad. Her academic accomplishments are that she's been on the end of the year All-A Honor Roll in the 1st through 4th grades. She is an avid reader, placing first in Accelerated Reader in 2nd grade, 3rd place in 3rd grade, and receiving a medal in 4th grade. She's also had perfect attendance in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. She also represented Ed Downs in the 2012 Math Olympics. Danae is an excellent student at Love School. We are pleased to have her at Ed Downs Elementary as well. At this time, I'd like for the audience to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Bow your heads and join us in prayer. Dear Lord, bless us as we gather today for San Benito Consolidated Independent School District's November board meeting. Guide our minds, hearts, discussions, and decisions so that we will work for the good of our students, teachers, administrators, employees, and community. Guide us and teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions that impact the lives of so many. We ask for your help and guidance in everything we say and do. Bring everyone together in joy so that we may gain the benefits from being here together. Father, we thank you for your many blessings. We praise you and give you glory today and every day. Amen.
At this time, I'd like to ask if the parents are in the audience, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Thank you for allowing your children to participate this evening. Also, I'd like to go ahead and thank the principal from Ed Downs Elementary, Ms. Nidia Espinosa. Also accompanying her are Ms. Marta Martinez, Elementary Assistant Principal, and the teacher is Ms. Kay Johnson. I am going to deviate a little bit from the agenda. I'd like to acknowledge yesterday was Veterans Day. That did occur yesterday on a day that we don't have a regular board meeting, but in observance of Veterans Day, I'd like to ask that if there are any veterans in our audience to please stand and be recognized. On behalf of the School Board of Trustees, we'd like to thank our veterans for what they've done to protect our freedoms. It's been something that, the United States, everybody here in the United States should be grateful for, because we do enjoy these freedoms because of these men and women that fight for our country. So on behalf of the school board, thank you for that. With that said, if we can please have a moment of silence. Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, Superintendent's Report. Mr. Franco.
Members of the board, we have 4 overnight trips to report to you. The first one is the San Benito High School and Veterans Memorial Academy NJROTC Coastal Bend Classic Drill Competition and the familiarization of the daily operations of military facility. And they will travel to Rockport Fulton High School in Rockport, Texas on November 15th through November 16th. The other overnight trip is from Miller Jordan Middle School 8th grade STEM field trip. They will travel to Texas State University and also the UTSA in San Antonio to the zoo on November 20th through November 21st of 2013. The San Benito High School Veterans Memorial /Veterans Memorial Academy NJROTC will be traveling to Seguin High School in Seguin, Texas for the NJROTC Veterans Day Classic Drill Competition and familiarization with daily military facility on November 22nd through November 23rd. And then lastly, the San Benito High School /Veterans Memorial Academy NJROTC. They will be traveling to Southwest High School in San Antonio to the NJROTC Sea Dragon Classic Drill Competition and familiarization with daily operations of military facility on December 6th through December 7th. Next on the superintendent's report, we have, as we've been doing for a while, we've had some ongoing presentations from many of our campuses. At this stage of the game, I think we're getting close to the end. But the 2 that we're having tonight are one from La Encantada Elementary and one from Angela Leal Elementary. And to start us off this evening, I'm going to ask Ms. Gracie Martinez, the principal of La Encantada Elementary, to step forward and introduce her presentation for us tonight.
Good evening, Board President, board members, and Mr. Ruben Franco. First of all, I want to thank the teachers for taking the time to put this presentation together. It was a group effort with everybody contributing to put the video together. I want to thank our lab manager, Maggie Hernandez, for doing a lot of the work to put the whole film together. And last, I'd like to thank the staff members that have taken the time tonight to come out here and join us. Thank you and enjoy.
This is La Encantada Elementary, home of the Raging Lions. Our school is located on FM 1577 in a small town known as El Ranchito. In 1910, Don Juan Esparza said he would donate the acre of land along the military road in the middle of El Ranchito. He deeded the land to the school district and expressed that he wished that it be named La Encantada School in honor of La Encantada Ranch, where his ancestors and family had been born and raised. In 1958, the enrollment of the school had increased so much that the old campus and buildings were no longer adequate. The school was moved to its current location. Today, the school enrollment at La Encantada continues to go with a current enrollment of 565 students. At La Encantada Elementary, the pre-kindergarten's philosophy and practice is simple. A safe, developmentally appropriate environment with the professional guidance and resources to foster, encourage, and challenge each individual's child's cognitive, physical, and emotional development. And well, we help accomplish this by stimulating the students' minds, dancing to the alphabet and letter sounds, coloring pumpkins and writing their name, all items that help these kids be successful. And we move on to kindergarten, where the focus for the teachers is simple. We kindergarten teachers deliver instructions to our students with basic skills in science, social studies, health, mathematics, reading, writing, and language arts. Our main goal is to prepare our students for the first grade.
Otra vez en el punto. Deslizamos hacia la derecha, bajamos en diagonal.
In reading, we teach phonemic awareness such as letter recognition, letter sounds, blending, and segmenting sounds. Not to forget rhyming. We also teach story structure, like characters, the setting, and plot, comprehension skills like understanding characters, inferring, and predicting. For writing and grammar, well, we teach letter formation, sentence structures, and different types of sentences. We also cover parts of speech like subject, predicate, nouns, pronouns, verbs, and adjectives. We illustrate the use of antonyms and synonyms. And for math, well, we have fun when we are teaching because we use manipulatives to teach numbers, shapes, colors, money, time, patterns, addition, subtraction, ordinal numbers, weight graphs, length, and well, if you can think of it, we're teaching
Destiny.
it in mathematics skills.
Who is in front of Destiny? Cesar? Miranda. Very good. What seat is Miranda in? Ryan. Sit on the bottom. What seat is Miranda in, Arnold? First. She's in the first seat. Who is in between the third and fifth seat? Who is in between the third and fifth seat? Layla.
Julian.
Julian and Layla. What seat is Julian in?
Fourth.
The fourth.
And now you got to ask yourself if you're ready for some excitement and learning. Well, if you are, you've come to the right place. Because in first grade at La Encantada, the mission is to produce lifelong learning citizens. This student, well, he's shown with an analog clock. According to him, it's 11:40 a.m. These students are identifying and classifying pennies and nickels in math class. And these two students are identifying shapes and making an AABB pattern. And as we continue to see what the students do in first grade, this one is using cubes to add doubles. These students are having fun comparing and contrasting the mass of two objects. That's pretty cool. And here the students are recording which item is heavy and light during science class. Some students are sharing the members of their family using a conga line. And this student is working on vocabulary words. How about these students right here? Well, they're reading quarterly to build fluency. And reading books, well, that tends to be much fun.
Ella es fina como un palito. Regina se paró en una banda. Fabuloso le dice Renata, Regina gira y gira. Qué bello le dice sí. La llama y la
Hey, and we move on over to second grade now, where the mission statement reads as so. We strive to provide knowledge to students so they will become successful throughout their school career and help them become productive and positive citizens. In science, students study and design their own bridges using their knowledge of properties and materials given. Then students observed and explored magnets and how they are used every day. With a systematic approach to teaching reading embedded in classic literature, second graders acquire the skills to be lifelong readers. They do that in different reading centers. We move over now to third grade, where our mission is clear: to provide comprehensive teaching strategies that will empower our students to be successful. We do this by taking approaches in each subject. In reading, third graders are acquiring new vocabulary acquisitions and comprehension strategies. They are learning to refer to information in text when asking and answering questions about texts they have read. They have also learned the test-taking strategies to prepare themselves for the STAR test that will be visiting them in the future. In math, third graders are learning about place value. They learn about addition, subtraction, multiplication of whole numbers, and they practice their test-taking strategies for the STAR test that are being taught in this
Addition
area.
problem, picture, times 4. Do you see something wrong with this problem? No. I see it.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
They are the same numbers like this.
Exactly, so what should she have done?
Separate the number like 4.
She should have switched it. What property is that?
Community
Community property of multiplication. Why is it community? Because it's moving.
When it comes to science, the third graders are studying the properties of matter. They participate in investigations and experiments in the classroom. They've learned about the 3 states of matter and their characteristics. Students have also been studying mixtures, making and separating the mixture, that is. And then comes ESL. There, the goal was for the students to develop full conversational and academic proficiency in 2 languages. A well-planned transitional bilingual program offers many children perhaps the last chance they have to develop their English language. Now we move over to 4th graders here at La Encantada Elementary, where they develop success by using SIOP. This by taking maps and many other resources available to accomplish this. The expectations for our students are for them to perform at their highest potential, which in turn will allow them to become lifelong learners.
Okay. So you put a 5 up here. 35 times 7 is 35. And then subtract that, and you have a remaining.
Our goal as a teacher is for each of the students to become lifelong problem solvers by thinking independently and critically. We want to give these students the chance to gain confidence and to realize their full potential, so in the future, they can apply that power to mathematics.
You can make groups of 7 with 37. How many groups can you make? Okay, 5 groups up here. Multiplication sign? 7. Very good. Okay, now subtract that. You see, you were just stuck in one step. And what does the R mean? Remainder. Very good.
Language arts, well, we provide our 4th grader alumni with the opportunity to express themselves creatively through the use of writing. Students are taught writing and grammar in hopes that they may utilize them to communicate effectively. We aspire to produce present and future authors, poets, and journalists. Not to forget, our students are reminded that hard work goes a long way.
Is telling you where it is.
Okay, it's a word that tells us what it is. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Eli, since you're standing, why do you give it a somewhat?
Because prepositions are like location, direction, and timing. They tell us where, what, when, and where it is.
Okay. So isn't that what he said? It tells us where?
Then he just said where it is.
Okay, so he wanted to be more specific. Location, timing, and what else? Direction. Okay, good. Without a preposition, would we know if we're reading a sentence or a story? Would we know where the person or the character was if we didn't have prepositions?
We didn't know where it was.
So when it looks something like this, Bertha stands.
Where? So where is it? Behind the chair.
Behind the chair. Behind the desk. So, good. Let's give these children a firework. Ready?
We move on to the fifth graders, where our vision with the fifth graders at La Encantada Elementary is fairly simple. The vision of the fifth grade level team is to maintain unwavering high academic standards, thus equipping students with the necessary tools to become critical thinkers, lifelong learners, responsible citizens, and productive community members. The counselors at La Encantada Elementary encourage students to recognize, reflect, and appropriately apologize when they have said or done something that hurts someone. Ms. Cepeda read the Band-Aid Chicken, which teaches the students to be brave and practice assertiveness when they are being bullied. The students also added Band-Aids on a poster with words to complete the phrase, "I am sorry." Again, the emphasis is on being specific about apologizing to others when we have wronged them.
What do we use Band-Aids for?
For cuts.
Whenever you have a cut or a burn, something that hurts. So the Band-Aid, some of them even have medicine, are so that to help it heal. Okay, how many of you have ever been picked on? Did you know that there is a pecking order among chickens? This story is about a brave chicken who wanted the pecking to stop. Once upon a time on Cepeda Farm, there lived 22 chickens. All the chickens got along with each other. They were happy to be living together. One day, Farmer Cepeda put a new little chicken inside the fence. This chicken did not have a family, and she was hoping to make some new friends. But before she could say hi, all the other chickens started pecking on her head. Look at her face. How do you think she's feeling? Pretty sad and in pain. By the next day, the Band-Aid chicken's head did not hurt so much, but her heart did. She was so sad that the other chickens would not even give her a chance to get to know them. Soon the other chickens told the Band-Aid chicken that she had passed their test. That meant she would now be the first to pick on any new chicken who came into their yard. So they said, okay, you know what? We're done picking on you. Congratulations. You were brave enough to handle all our pecking, and guess what? Now you can be part of our group, and you can be the first one to peck on the new chicken when the new chicken comes. Do you think she's going to want to peck the new chicken?
No,
Why not?
because they pecked on her.
Yeah, she didn't like how it felt. She stood in front of the frightened new chicken, looked right into the eyes of the other chickens, and loudly said, "No, I want this pecking to stop with me," said the Band-Aid chicken. "I remember how bad I felt when you did it to me, and how much it hurt my head and my heart. No, I won't do it." How do you think the other chickens are going to react? You think they're going to be upset because she stood up to them? The other chickens were surprised. But when they saw that the Band-Aid chicken meant what she said, they stopped pecking too. How do you think the new chicken felt?
Happy.
Yeah, like,
Because they
oh.
weren't
I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Oh, I'm a yummy, tummy, funny, lucky gummy bear. I'm a jelly bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Oh, I'm a moving, grooving, carol, singing gummy bear. Oh, yeah, gummy, 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 gummy bear. Gummy, 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 gummy bear. Oh, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Oh, I'm a yummy, tummy, funny, lucky gummy bear. I'm a jelly bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Let's go play outside. Let's go play outside. Let's go play outside. Let's go play outside. We had fun, boys, time to go. Read a book and we're out in the sun. We had fun, boys, time to go. Come everybody, tell me about your day. We had fun, boys, time to go. Tomorrow will be another very special day. We had fun, boys, time to go. It's 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps, out. We had fun, boys, time to go. We had fun, boys, time to go. Read a book and we're out in the sun. We had fun, boys, time to go. Come everybody, tell me about your day. We had fun, boys, time to go. Tomorrow will be another very special day. We had fun, boys, time to go. It's 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps, out. We had fun, boys, time to go.
Thank you very much, Ms. Martinez, for that great presentation. At this point, Mr. Manuel Cruz, would you step forward and present your presentation?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Franco. Thank you for allowing us tonight to come and showcase Angela Jerusa Leal Elementary. I'd like to acknowledge Leticia Rodriguez, our fine arts teacher, and Laura Taylor for narrating this presentation tonight. What you're going to see tonight are unique features of the school. You're going to see students engaged in learning. You're going to see parents involved in participating, and you're going to see staff and teachers working harmoniously and collaborating for one common goal, which is student success. We'd like to thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight, and I'd like to thank the teachers that are here also in support. So sit back and enjoy our presentation.
Andrew G. Leal Elementary School is the result of a 2008 voter-approved bond election. The $7.8 million elementary school campus sits on several acres on FM 732 in rural San Benito, Texas. The San Benito CISD campus has solar panels, and its green design makes it a model campus in the Rio Grande Valley. Leal Elementary was completed and first opened its doors in July 2011, and it serves students in grades pre-kindergarten through 5th grade. Its unique design with the space theme has a main corridor with the sun and its planets on the floor that runs the length of the school, with 3 hallways that branch out from the main corridor, simulating a planetarium overlooking placards with facts on each planet in the solar system and the different constellations. Another hallway intersects the 3 hallways, and it leads to the science lab that includes a butterfly garden. The school has 30 classrooms, 2 very unique creation stations, a beautiful library, a computer lab, a very nice cafeteria with a stage, and the only elementary school with an indoor gymnasium. The entire grounds of the school are landscaped with native plants and serves as an outdoor classroom. Promoting the design and construction of green schools makes a tremendous impact on student health, school operational cost, test scores, and the environment. Green schools are environmentally sound and provide measurable benefits that impact the occupants of the building and the financial bottom line. The Green School itself also serves as a teaching tool demonstrating to students, faculty, and parents practical ways that we can turn back the clock on global warming while creating healthier, more efficient, less costly learning environments. Angela G. Leal was built with green features that include linoleum tack wall surfacing that is used in multi-purpose spaces as well as in the fine arts, allows for greater utilization of vertical areas for displays. This linoleum product is certified Green Guard as it contributes to improved indoor air quality. Low and zero VOC paint and coating. VOC stands for volatile organic compounds, which are inherent in those traditional paints and are a major contributor to the condition of the indoor air quality of a building. Solar tubes for natural lighting are prepackaged solar lighting devices that are used in multi-purpose spaces to utilize more natural lighting inside the building, as well as offset some of the artificial lighting loads. Natural lighting is a green requirement as it enhances user comfort and health. Rainwater collection cisterns that are placed around the building at key areas to catch water runoff from the roof to be used later for irrigation. Rainwater collection is a green requirement since it promotes water conservation and clean waterways. Improved glazing heat control includes all exterior windows to have low E insulated glass which cut down on direct heat gain through a special coating in the glass. Additionally, all classroom windows have solar shading devices to cut down on uncomfortable glare. Highly reflective exterior finishes. The building exterior features an all-white CMU veneer which reflects more heat than darker veneers. The metal roof and walls are of a highly reflective galvanum metal panel which will be very effective in cutting down solar heat gain. Solar water heating is used through flat plate solar collectors that help to offset the water heating load in the kitchen area. Curriculum is essentially a design or roadmap for learning, and as such focuses on knowledge and skills that are judged important to learn. At Angela G. Leal Elementary, we strive to provide a 21st century curriculum that blends thinking and innovative skills, information media, and life and career skills in the context of core academic subjects and across interdisciplinary themes, and employ methods of 21st century instruction that integrate innovative and research-proven teaching strategies, modern learning technologies, and real-world resources and contexts. Education involves helping a novice develop strong, readily accessible background knowledge. It's important that background knowledge be readily accessible, and this occurs when knowledge is well rehearsed and tied to other knowledge. Our teachers ensure that our students efficiently acquire, rehearse, and connect background knowledge by providing a good deal of instructional support. Setting objectives can provide students with a direction for their learning. For our English language learners, we go a step further by providing language objectives that help them to support their linguistic development. Sheltered instruction is an English immersion approach to instruction in the classroom management that our teachers use to help second language learners to simultaneously acquire English and content area knowledge and skills. High level of student interaction, including small group and cooperative learning, yields a positive effect on overall learning. Instruction is grounded in research-based practices accompanied by deep discussion and inquiry, while teacher-directed activities focus on identifying specific items. Student-directed activities encourage variation and broaden understanding. Presently, Angela G. Leal Elementary is in year 2 of implementation with a focus on learning effective strategies for our English language learners. Sheltered instruction is a framework for planning and delivering instruction in content areas such as science, history, and mathematics to limited English proficient students. The goal of sheltered instruction is to help teachers integrate academic language development into their lessons, allowing students to learn and practice English as it is used in the context of schools, including the vocabulary used in textbooks and lectures in each academic discipline. Using this planning framework, teachers modify the way they teach so that the language they use to explain concepts and information is comprehensible to these students. Good behavior is the wanted output in a way of managing or training someone to be well behaved. At Angela G. Leal, we are making great strides in developing children that will carry good qualities for behavior. In analyzing our data, we experienced a significant drop in the number of discipline referrals from one year to the next. We are presently implementing new strategies to decrease even more the number of discipline referrals in 2013-2014 by instilling in our children character-building traits through our words of wisdom each morning, reciting the Kids for Character pledge during our morning programs, and by implementing a school-wide positive behavior support plan that is essential to creating and maintaining a positive school climate. The school-wide positive behavior support plan ties into our general district student code of conduct. This school year, we offer the Principal's Cafe, a special place for students to dine during lunch. Students receive tickets from teacher and staff for positive behaviors. Tickets are deposited into boxes that are specific to students' grade levels. A drawing is held each Friday. Students whose name is selected get to pick 2 friends to share lunch at Principal's Cafe, where tables have been set up with tablecloths and centerpieces. Additionally, students are encouraged to be high achievers, be respectful and responsible, and have opportunities to be selected to be a member of an elite group of students each week, the Longhorns of the Week. Each student is nominated by his or her teacher based on the following criteria: good behavior, good grades, significant improvement in attitude and behavior, displays good citizenship, is disciplined, respectful, responsible, and displays integrity and good character. Students' names are announced each Friday and are rewarded with a special certificate. The purpose of this initiative, spearheaded by our counselor, Mrs. Noelia Sanchez, is to encourage our students to be self-disciplined and high achievers. Students who are selected will be featured on the school website and get entered into the Cut the Principal's Tie raffle. Building employee morale motivation is critical to having a successful workplace. When employees are motivated and working together as a team, everyone prospers. Our organization's production increases as employees learn how to communicate and interact with one another efficiently. At Angela G. Leal Elementary, we have implemented several activities throughout the school year to increase harmony among all staff. We are one big family at Angela G. Leal. Making the worksite an enjoyable place helps to retain employees. Good communication between management and staff, an open door policy, and management stopping by desk to say hello provides a warm atmosphere. Holding celebrations, such as breakfasts, potluck lunches, and birthday celebrations, makes our workplace a happier place. Employees appreciate these gestures, and they bring the team closer. People often stay at a job because of their co-workers and a positive environment. This school year, we have implemented a mode of dress for our students. A mode of dress shows a sense of unity and pride within the school. It identifies our students at Leal Longhorns, a school where learning is taking place. We want our students to enjoy and engage in the learning process with minimal distractions. Many times, clothing, due to fads, can cause students to mistreat their peers. With a mode of dress, we want students to be less focused on appearance and more on learning. Several studies also indicate that when schools have a mode of dress, it promotes good discipline. Staff development refers to the processes, programs, and activities through which every organization develops, enhances, and improves the skills, competencies, and overall performance of its employees and workers. At Angela G. Leal Elementary, our staff participates in campus and district level staff developments. At the campus level, our staff development has focused on the benefits of sheltered instruction for not only our English language learners, but for all students. At Leal Elementary, we offer extracurricular and co-curricular activities that allow students some degree of freedom in the selection for their participation, including programs that are associated with the curriculum in a classroom. Among these programs is our Drumline. Drumlines keep students occupied in ways that make parents proud and comfortable. We find that the time spent is fulfilling and rewarding, and that our students have developed a sense of pride in participating in the Drumline. Students in grades 4 and 5 have the opportunity to join the guitar club that is sponsored by Ms. Leticia Rodriguez, our fine arts teacher. These students are required to maintain passing averages in all subjects and must also be self-disciplined in order to participate. Students in the guitar club are featured in programs throughout the school year, including performances during PTO meetings. Music develops self-discipline. A child who allots time for practicing each day is known to develop similar habits in conjunction with other subjects as well. Organizational skills increase, and the child learns what it takes to be good at something. Ensemble experience also builds teamwork. At Angela G. Leal Elementary, students audition and are selected to participate in the Angela G. Leal Choir. October 9, 2013 was Unity Day, a day everyone was able to link together in schools, communities, and online and send one large orange message of support to students who have experienced bullying. Make it orange and make it end. Unite against bullying. And since orange is our school color, well, what can we say? Character Count Week is celebrated to bring awareness to building the 6 pillars of character. Character counts is a concept that is a national movement. It is an idea that relatively says that it is time for people to start talking again about right and wrong, and a time to recognize and reward individuals whose lives are examples of good character and ethical behavior. We believe that now is the time to begin again to teach our children the values of good character. National Children's Book Week is the longest-running national literacy initiative in the country. Children's Book Week is administered by Every Child a Reader, a literacy organization dedicated to instilling a lifelong love of reading in children. This event is celebrated in May to help promote literacy with week-long activities that allow our students to participate in. National Library Week is a national observance sponsored by the American Library Association and libraries across the country in each April. It is a time to celebrate the contributions of our nation's libraries and librarians and to promote library use and support. Grades 4 and 5 students are elected as student council officers and representatives at the end of the school year to serve in the subsequent school year. An installation of officer ceremonies is held to install the officers in April. In October, the student council officers, along with their sponsors, attended student council trainings in Harlingen. Student council gives students the opportunity to participate in decisions that affect them. Students that feel they have a say in school rules, policies, and operations are more likely to cooperate and encourage other students to do so as well. Additionally, it gives them the ability to understand more about the democratic process. Democracy is one of our country's founding principles. What better way for students to understand the process than to directly participate in it? Lastly, it gives them the chance to learn important leadership skills. Colleges and jobs are increasingly looking for candidates with strong leadership skills. We want to get our children involved early so that these skills are well developed before they reach high school. Parental involvement is the level of participation that a parent has in their child's education and school. Many parents are tremendously involved, often volunteering to help their child's classroom, communicating well with their child's teachers, assisting with homework, and understanding their child's individual academic strengths and weaknesses. Parental involvement has increased from one year to the next at Angela Leal Elementary. We continue to offer opportunities for parents' participation by hosting a parent center that is open to parent volunteers every Wednesday of the week. Parents are extended invitations in English and Spanish to participate in celebrations such as open house to meet the teacher night early in September, PTO meetings throughout the year, annual Title I meetings to review the Parental Involvement Policy School Parent Compact in early September, serving on decision-making committees, Thanksgiving luncheons for parents in November, Texas Public School Week in March, and awards programs, graduation, and promotion ceremonies in May. Additionally, our parent-teacher organization includes parent volunteers that are very involved and committed to making the best decisions possible to benefit our children. 3 members on this year's boards are parents, and 1 is a staff member that is also a parent of a child here at Leal Elementary. As a group, we encourage parent and teacher participation and make every effort to be fair in our decision-making. Angela G. Leal Elementary was awarded by the Physical Activity Scavenger Hunt Prize for entering the Fuel Up to Play 60 Challenge during the 2012-13 school year. The prize is $5,000 with the sole purpose of improving the technology environment at the school. The prize was awarded in 2012-13, but on September 18, a kickoff rally was held where a representative from Dairy Max presented the school with a gift card from Best Buy worth $5,000. We will utilize funds for equipment and design elements to improve and enhance the technology environment and or product offerings of the nutrition and physical activity needs of the school. At least 1/2 of funds will be for equipment to improve and enhance school cafeteria environment or nutrition education. On behalf of the administration, faculty and staff, and our parents, we would like to extend our gratitude to the Central Office Administration and their staff, and our school board members for supporting our efforts in providing lifetime experiences to our students at Angela G. Leal Elementary.
Sing with me, y'all. Throw them hands in the air. Sing with me, y'all. Sing with me, y'all.
At this time, I'd like to compliment both principals and all their staff and students that were involved in these productions for such an excellent job in showcasing your campuses as well as you did tonight. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
I also have something to say. I just wanted to take this time to thank all the staff, the principals, and everybody at each and every one of your all's campuses. I've been so privileged to have gotten to see firsthand how your schools operate and your teachers work. And over this past 2.5 months, I've been starting up my walkthroughs again. And I just wanted to say thank you for opening the doors to me and allowing me the honor to walk through your campus and see your kids in class. I've been very impressed with what I've seen in the past. I've been doing this for the past 2 years, and I've been very impressed with what I've seen throughout the years and in the past couple weeks. And I also look forward to the next 11 weeks that I have to see the rest of the campuses, whether it's the first time or the second or third time, because I know I've been to some campuses, for different events and functions. So I just wanted to say, all of y'all are doing a fantastic job, and I'm so very glad to see that. And it makes me very happy to see that a lot of our kids are doing very well in school and are very happy to go to school and are always telling their parents, no mom, no dad, I schedule my appointment on another day because I have to go to school today. It just makes me very happy to see that they're wanting to be there and seeing them in the classrooms participating, doing all the hands-on, laughing and being with their friends. So once again, I just wanted to say thank you, and I look forward to seeing the rest of you who I have not visited. And that's all I wanted to say.
Madam Chair, the final 2 items under the superintendent's report are disbursements and disbursements by organization. Ms. Bacall is available if any board member has any questions about any of those items. And if there are none, then that concludes the superintendent's report from my part.
Okay, it appears that there are no questions, so we'll go ahead and move on to item number 6. Recommend approving the agenda of the regular board meeting of November 12, 2013, with any corrections and/or deletions.
Second.
Motion to go ahead and recommend approving the agenda of the regular board meeting of November 12, 2013, with any corrections and/or deletions made by Mr. Huerta, seconded by Ms. Aguilera. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Takes us on to item number 7, public comment. We do have 3 members of the audience who wish to address the board. Please understand that the undersigned who wish to address the Board of Trustees, shown to the board that he or she understands the following provisions to addressing the board. The person wishing to address the Board of Trustees must register with the presiding officer or designee no later than 5 minutes before the announced time of the school board meeting, shall state their full name, state what organization or group, if any, is being represented, refrain from commenting directly on any individual school district employee or public official by name, but may instead refer to a specific employment area, job title, or the Board of Trustees as a whole, shall refrain from attacks on individuals. The speaker will be allowed only 5 minutes to give his or her presentation. Delegations of more than 5 persons shall appoint 1 person to present their views before the Board of Trustees. Presentations shall be informative and shall pertain to school-related issues. Any attack on any individual shall be considered disruption of the meeting, and the Board of Trustees will not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. This evening, I'd like to call in M.L. Garcia. She is going to go ahead and discuss insurance.
Good evening, board members and Madam President. My concern on the insurance is that it's affected me, myself. I've had to use personal time to come see the insurance representative. Her time is from 8:30 to 4:30. My conference is first period, which is 7:40 to 8:20, so I can't come. Lunch is too short, because by the time I walk from the back 40 to the office to sign out to my vehicle, 7 minutes have already gone by. By the time I drive over here, the time is too short for me to discuss my insurance business. After school is impossible because I'm stopped by teachers and students, so I just say forget it. And I know it's my time. I know I have to find a way, and I have, by taking personal time. I've taken 3 half days of my personal time to come visit with the insurance. Why? Because the first time they left me off with no medical coverage at all. So I was without a medical coverage for 2 weeks before I took time to sit and go over my insurance papers. The second time, they gave me the wrong insurance information. The third time, I got a letter from a company, from one of the insurance companies, and it was wrong. And the representative had to use my letter to address that concern. I took the time off today, half a day for today, for that reason. And I had to go home, which is just about 2 blocks away, twice to get the information that I needed because it wasn't on the paper. And that's fine, I understand that, but if we had been given this information correctly the first time, I don't think I would have had to take my days off. They say the third time's the charm. I hope so, because I'm running out of my days. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. The next member of the audience who wishes to address the board is Mr. Jose Garcia. Topic, harassment and bullying.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Madam President. Every time I come here, I'm prepared to, I have an issue that I'm going to speak about, but I'm always, taken off by something that is presented here, but not tonight. Tonight, the presentation here hit right on the nail. See, I'm here to tell you about the goings-on, which of course you are very well aware of, the Alexandria Hernandez situation. To me, that is very bad. I mean, when they talked about the 10 chickens pecking on that other new chicken, from that, which one of the schools was that? Oh, wow, see, that centered me again. There is nothing anybody can say and do to do away with what occurred. Nothing, okay? Even if it's justified, it cannot, because that issue was against a child that is a disabled individual under the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, under the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which is a very large umbrella covering harassment, covering discrimination. All of that comes under that. And it doesn't matter if the 10 people were childhood friends who wanted to take a picture. No, it doesn't add up. It doesn't come on. You know, I could have told you exactly what that investigative group you hired, I don't know who hired them. I could have told you what they told you without even talking to anybody. According to Mr. Del Valle, the newspaper man, he told the people right there what they did, which was very wrong, to only speak to the people that were involved on the side of the cheerleaders. You know, I had the privilege yesterday of attending a first grade classroom in Frank Roberts to do a little thing on Veterans Day. I mean, I could not speak to them. I know in some circles I speak circles around. There, I mean, and I kept watching what they were presenting here. Where do children go wrong? I never saw any element that caused what happened in high school, you know, where? They all seem to be very well protected, very well educated, very well treated. But this happens? No, I'm sorry. I'm your friend. But when the children in the district are hurt, I come in very strong. But you know what? I'm not going to do anything because the individual lawyer who's handling this case, Godinez, he knows what he's talking about. Okay? And this is not going to end, believe me. Okay? I'm sorry to say that. This is going to go far. See, I know Alexandria. She's a friend of my autistic grandson. And she comes to our house. She goes to my grandson's parties, birthday parties. A very nice child. A child who is so brave to be able to cross the line. Okay? Something, no leg, my God. But yet she's a cheerleader. She should be praised. Oh my God, I am so upset. I apologize. I'm standing over there right now. But it hurts because I'm, good people, am a disabled individual myself. Okay? And I know what it is to be hurt because you don't know or you can't do something because of what the disability does to you. I know that, see? And I will not stand for anybody or any group of people to do that, especially to that child. And I'm here to protest and tell you that I am very upset with what went on, and I apologize to you for coming out so strongly. I think this is the strongest I've ever come out. But I'm sorry, I apologize, but it's not going to go away. You can ask him over there. He knows. See, when I read Godinez's statement in the paper, I said, this guy knows what he's talking about. See, he's not talking about bullying. He's talking about discrimination on the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, okay? That's a federal law. I mean, you don't violate a federal law, especially schools that receive funds from the federal government. No, you don't do that. You don't accuse or remove an individual because the individual violated the Constitution, because she was arrested. She was not convicted. Now, how can you remove her from that? Mr., can't say names, the principal. I mean, you should teach these people to think a little bit. I mean, how can you accuse somebody, or you be judge, jury on that issue? Is my time up? Well, that's okay, because I'm running out of breath too. So anyway, my apologies. And next time I have something on the agenda for next time, I'm going to address you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. We have one more member of the audience who wishes to address the board, Mr. Jesus Aguilera. Topic, district concerns.
Cheerleader gets fired. $59,000 missing from San Benito band. Male administrator goes to 19-year-old female's apartment unannounced. Gun is taken to VMA and reported by security guards. And the guy that took the gun was a security guard. Male employee pulls down his pants to a female employee. 2 children get taken off a bus and told to go home walking. Business manager wants clinic shut down at 4:15. Now I'm going to get on your cheerleader. You know, this cheerleader, she did wrong. Should she have been kicked off? Absolutely. But thank God a judge came to her rescue, because that was the right thing to do. You know, took 3 weeks for an investigation to go and remove her, and we threw the book at her. We even had her arrested because we had to show her discipline and what we're all about. Okay? So we did this to a child. $59,000 is missing from the band. Principal at Riverside told me he got $9,000 back. Interim superintendent told me he got $35,000 back. There's still $15,000 missing. Where's the investigation? Where's that person? 3 weeks. We put a child in jail. Over a year, that person is still loose. You don't have no information for me where the money is. Administrator goes to a 19-year-old's female apartment unannounced, goes into her bedroom. She tells him to get out. Okay? I tell this to the assistant superintendent. She said, oh, yeah, Chuy, I know about it. But, man, that happened 3 years ago. Oh, and that makes it right? Gun is brought to the school at VMA. Where's the investigation? Who's getting written up? We ain't throwing a book at them, but we are at the cheerleader. Male employee pulls down his pant to another female employee. All right? Our assistant superintendent removes that person from De La Fuente Elementary to Ed Downs Elementary. If it wasn't for that man right over there, the attorney, that employee would still be here because they weren't going to get rid of him until he gave them legal advice. 2 children are taken off of the bus, sent home walking because they think they don't belong in that bus route. Not only that, the assistant superintendent writes a grievance and gets it all wrong. The mother goes to him. She's 1 day late. She'd been there the last 3 days, but she got there on Friday, 1 day late. Why do I know? She called me every time she went. You know what? Said, too late, too bad, you can't grievance it anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, man. We threw the book at that cheerleader. What do you want, her other leg? I don't understand. And then we have a board member that decides to say that Richard Garza and Glenn Hilliard are signing illegal contracts. If this is true, fire them both. Fire them. But if it isn't, remove yourself from the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilera. Moving on to item number 8, action agenda. In order to promote efficient meetings, the board may act upon more than one item by a single vote through the use of consent agenda. Consent items placed on the agenda shall be marked with an asterisk. Consent items are items for which no board discussion is anticipated and for which the superintendent recommends approval. Prior to the time which approval of consent agenda is had at the request of any member of the Board of Trustees. Any item on the consent agenda shall be removed and given individual consideration. Under Business and Finance, 1311A-1, request for approval of resolution approving annual review of the investment policy and investment strategies. Consent. 1311A-2, request for approval of resolution approving independent sources of instruction relating to the investment responsibilities. Consent. 1311A-3, request for approval of Emma McCall as investment officer for the San Benito CISD. Consent. 1311A-4, request for approval to authorize purchase of two-way radios for maintenance and AC energy departments.
Question.
Question by Ms. Aguilera. 1311A-5, request for approval of 2012-2013 budget amendments. Consent. 1311A-6, request for approval of budget transfers. Consent. Under administration, 1311A-7, request for approval of board minutes. Consent. 1311A-8, request for approval of resolution to award compensation to reward retained employees for their continued service to the district.
Question.
Question by Ms. Aguilera. 1311A-9, request for approval of the 2013-2014 class size waiver. Consent. I'd like to request for a motion to approve the following items: 1311A-1, 1311A-2, 1311A-3, 1311A-5, 1311A-6, 1311A-7, and 1311A-9.
Madam President, I have a question first, before anything goes on. I missed 1311A-3. I just have a real quick question to ask on that. Is there any way before approving it, we can go ahead and
Okay,
question
we're
that?
going to go ahead and remove from the motion item 1311A-3. Do I have a motion to approve the following? Motion to approve made by Mr. Huerta, seconded by Mr. Medrano. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We have a question on the following items. We'll begin with item 1311A-3, request for approval of Emma McCall as investment officer for the San Benito CISD, and this is under business and finance.
No disrespect, anyway, I wasn't able to come to this meeting. I had my 3-year-old son with me, so I just wanted to recap on what happened, like, how did we get Emma, or is it something that's always, or?
It's an annual policy update just to make sure that we have everybody covered. They require us to review the policy, they review the training sources, and then who is the investment officer. Generally speaking, it's usually the business manager. Sometimes they include the superintendent.
Okay, so it's always been you, like, it just comes along with your job?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve item 1311A-3? We have two, first motions by Mr. Medrano and Mr. Leal, seconded by Mr. Huerta. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We have another question on item 1311A-4. This is under business and finance as well, and this is request for approval to authorize the purchase of two-way radios for maintenance and AC energy departments.
Okay. I also have a little problem on this one. AC, if I'm not mistaken, you have the money to purchase these radios. Okay. Maintenance, if I have it, if I was addressed correctly and informed correctly, you do not have the money to purchase these radios. So the district would have to come up with, if I'm correct, $16,000 for these radios on behalf of maintenance. Now, my question is, because I had heard, Emma, that you had made a statement that the district would have no problem finding $16,000 to purchase these radios. And I know in the past, when different programs have come up and said, that they need funding for this, or they need, and these are our kids, it's always been, we don't have money right now, or we can't make that expenditure. But in the beginning of the year, every department is given a budget to work with. They put in their projected budget. So what my question is that if these $16,000 are going to be given because he projected the $16,000 for the following year, does that mean I get to take away $16,000 for maintenance next year because it's no longer going to be needed for the projected radios that he was going to have, so that money can actually go back to our children and go back into the school?
Okay, what really happened, I'll let David correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that those were supposed to have been purchased with last year's budget, but it didn't get in on time. So actually, that money is sitting, was rolled over into the fund balance. And yes, we can certainly reduce it by 16,000 next year, but it's, if we find it this year, right now, I'm anticipating doing a transfer rather than a budget amendment.
Okay, yeah, because that's the only thing, because I know that like I was here, and they informed me after, and it was just that little statement that said that we could, find it. We could go out there and we could make this happen.
Right. It
But
depends on the amount. So if you asked me for $300,000 right now, I wouldn't be able to find it. 16,000 I can.
Yeah, but it's any little thing, that sometimes our kids come up to us for, and it's not even, a big expenditure. And a lot of the times they get like last year, was it last year that Chess got told that they were only gonna be able to take one team, and then I had to go back and talk to the superintendent to see if we could send another team, and we finally sent them. Was that gonna cost more than $16,000 to send another chess team to,
It costs us a lot of money.
Oh, it costs a lot, but it's for our kids, and that's what I'm saying. We are always focusing on things, and we're always going in and finding little things here and there for something, but when it comes to our kids, a lot of the times it's like, well, it's a little too hard, or it's a little too much, or it's, right now we just can't do it. And that's what I find is a problem, because of the fact that, like you're saying, he's projecting it for next year, that he was gonna use those 16,000 to get radios next year.
Last year.
And, well, yeah, but now because it didn't happen, and the money went back into the fund balance, he was gonna do it again for next year. He was gonna use that 16 to buy the radios for the next budget.
If you don't want to approve it, that's your prerogative. You're the board member. If you don't feel like that's a priority.
No, but I'm
that's up to
asking
you.
if I approve it now, when the budget comes around again, will that be taken out of his next, because that was initially gonna roll over into the next year? Or is it gonna be 16,000 reduced for maintenance?
We won't be
or-
giving him an extra 16,000 next year, no.
Okay, so that's my question, because I want it to go back into our, to be able to use for our kids for the next following year, and not be just, given the same amount to maintenance, and then, because, we don't know what's gonna happen in the future, and if for some reason we have to do cuts, I don't wanna cut from our kids. So I just wanted to make that, very clear that, that statement of we can go and do it, I just wanted to actually hear that when it actually comes to our kids. We can actually go in there and try to find something, or we can try to do something about it, and not just go automatically to the assumption that we can't do it or we can't find it. So I wasn't here for that, and that's the only thing that I, wanted to say.
Are there any other questions on this item? Do I have a motion to approve item 1311A-4? We have a motion by Mr. Leal, seconded by Mr. Medrano. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We also had another question on item 1311A-8 under administration, request for approval of resolution to award compensation to reward retained employees for their continued service to the district.
I just wanted to go over this since we do have a lot of employees present, and I just wanted to see if we could, what is, I know last year there was a bit of confusion as to, who was gonna get it, where were gonna be the requirements, so I just kind of recap, so that way they know, and that all the board is, because I don't know if it changed from last year, if it's the exact same, or we've made adjustments, so.
Okay. Yes, it has changed from the resolution that was passed last year, and prior to this resolution being drafted, I had spoken to Mr. Torres about redrafting this resolution, because the circumstances in which the previous resolution was drafted on were predicated on on TEA underfunding districts throughout the state, and so it was a combination of as an incentive for having been underfunded, plus also a retention incentive for the employees not having left the district under those conditions, that resolution was drafted, and we carried it out. The one thing that we did learn from that resolution was another aspect of it, which had to do with who qualifies for this particular incentive. The dates are the same. In other words, we're using a date that they have to have been employed, in this case from September 1st, 2012, and remained employed with the district through December 1st, 2013 of this year. What changed was, before it used to say for full-time employees, And then we got into a lot of discussion last year, as you recall, where a lot of people were questioning what really is a full-time employee. So to avert that this year, Mr. Torres and I discussed this issue as well, and Ms. McCall, and the amount of hours that was used last year that was settled on by everybody was any persons working on average of 20 hours or more would be qualified, and meeting the timeline criteria for this, would be qualified for that retention incentive to be awarded in the amount of $500. So that's the other change, that we made that change, that it's got to be an average of 20 hours or more to qualify for this, as opposed to the term full-time. So that'll get around a lot of the issues that we had last year as well.
Okay, so is this the, aside from that, is there any other corrections or deletions into this, or?
Well, the amount is half of what it was last year, but then again, and just for the employees to understand, the reason it's half is that because this year there were raises that were provided to the employees, whereas last year there were no raises whatsoever. It was the only extra money they received were the incentive monies. So that's why, and actually the board was very gracious, and we're very appreciative for the fact that not only did they give employees this year a raise, but they, on top of that, sort of doubled down and gave them an additional $500 incentive for this, and earmarked it to occur right around Christmas time for obvious reasons. And so, for that, all the employees are very appreciative of that.
You can ask.
I just have one more question. I know last year, when we were talking about like all the people that are getting it, we're going into it and talking about the different departments. My only question is, our superintendent at that time had denied the monies and said that he didn't want to take away money from the district, from the kids. So I wanted to know, is that still drafted in here, or will the monies be given out?
Well, that's a good question, because, and very perceptive for you to notice that. Last year, at one of our finance committee meetings, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Limon actually went on record publicly stating that he would not, even then, the resolution was drafted in such a way that he could have qualified for the raise, for the incentive. He made a public statement stating that he would not be a recipient of that regardless. I consulted with our attorney, and for this year, to see if we needed to put specific language in there to exclude him from receiving the raise, and the council indicated that because the wording of the motion that was made back in August, when the raise for all the employees and the incentive was created, that there was no mention at that point about excluding the superintendent, and therefore he felt uncomfortable drafting the resolution with that language in there. So for that reason, it is stated, it doesn't even address the issue of the superintendent getting it or not.
Okay.
So, on a voluntary basis.
Yeah, I think with this we'd have to go back and check with him and see if, he's gonna, because
if you're asking if he's willing to volunteer to not accept it again, I've already done that. I've already asked that question and was told that the answer was no.
No, he's not willing?
No, he's not willing to
give it up.
To give it up.
He's not willing to give it up?
Correct.
Okay, so he wants to be included in this, that's what you're saying?
That is my understanding.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Torres would like to help me with regard to the motion. The reason why you have some hesitancy to include any language in this resolution, by all means, please jump in. Otherwise, it is because of the lack of any specific statement back when the motion was made in August, not including the exception for the superintendent, that he feels uncomfortable for included it at this point.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just asking because I wanted to know, because I know that when I talked to you last week when I missed the finance, you had addressed part of it, but since you didn't get to talk about it because it was an agenda item,
Right.
I just wanted to know, what from that time to now had changed, or what was going to happen, because we really didn't get to talk about this item. It was just kind of put on the agenda. So I wanted to know, as to what was actually on here, what was not, and, what
And-
differences were made.
And we had intended to
But if
discuss all this then?
if Tony's saying that, we made it, in the motion at that time, and it's a little bit, I was just wanted to be informed as to what was going on, what was gonna happen, and make sure that everybody knew, if they were gonna qualify, because I know we had a lot of confusion last year about who was gonna qualify, who was gonna get the monies, and, I'd rather just stay away from the confusion this year, so that way everybody can, know the requirements.
And that's why I put in the language with regard to the 20 hours.
Yeah.
Because Ms. McCall budgeted it, divided it by 2, because the district paid out $1,000 last year. So I wanted to find out exactly how we paid it out, so that way we wouldn't have to deviate from our budget and another budget amendment. So that's why we did the 20 hours.
Okay. No, well, I'll approve the resolution, because I do think that our employees do deserve this, so, and thank you for being loyal to our district. So, what will you?
Emma, just to reiterate, this is going to cover from September, if you were employed from September the 1st, 2012 to December the 1st, 2013, correct?
Right, without any interruption in employment.
Okay, so then that means that this, the $500 will be reflective on their December check or on their January check?
I believe we're going to be writing a separate check for that in December.
Okay.
And just to clarify also, because last year when we did the $1,000 check, there were some people that were concerned because I think it netted out for most people at $750 or so. There will be taxes, et cetera, taken out of this check, so it will not be a check for $500. It will be a gross check for $500, but the net portion will be different.
Correct.
Are there any other questions on this item?
So moved.
Motion to approve item 1311A-8 made by Mr. Medrano, seconded by Mr. Leal. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. With that approval, I'm going to go ahead and read the resolution approving annual review of the investment policy and investment strategies. Whereas the 1997 legislature of the state of Texas enacted House Bill 2459, amending the Public Funds Investment Act codified in Government Code Chapter 2256, and whereas the Public Fund Investment Act, as amended by House Bill 2459, requires a Board of Trustees of the San Benito Consolidated Independent School District to review annually the district's investment policy and strategies, and shall record any changes made to either the investment policy or the investment strategies. And whereas the Board of Trustees has reviewed the district's investment policy and investment strategies and has determined that no changes are necessary at this time. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees that the investment policy CDA local and legal attached hereto reflect the approved investment policy of the San Benito Consolidated Independent School District, passed, adopted, and approved by the Board of Trustees of the San Benito Consolidated Independent School District on this 12th day of November 2013. Moving on to item number 9, closed meeting, discussion under the authority of the Texas Government Code 551.071 for the purpose of private consultation with the board's attorney on any subjects or matters authorized by law. 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. A, report on personnel. B, employment and resignation. The time is now 8:27 and we're in closed. The time is now 9:05 and we are reconvening an open meeting. A, action on items discussed in closed session if necessary. No action on any items at this time. Item number 10, adjournment. The time is now 9:05 and this meeting is adjourned.